Hey guys, it's Sam. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about my upcoming planner no buy, low buy. Hopefully we can figure that out together. If you can't tell from the past couple of videos where I've talked about this, I'm pretty nervous about this whole undertaking. I have tried some planner no spends in the past and I have failed. I have failed at them. We're going to talk about that in this video. This is going to be another one of those videos that's going to be a planner chat, so I'm warning you now. There's not going to be a lot of interesting things to look at. I am going to open my planner, but it's probably just going to stay there on that page. I don't intend to flip through anything. It's just not that kind of video. I would have made this one face to face, but it's been raining all day here and I have zero light to do that kind of video with, and I'm not even happy about the light that I have here. I just prefer natural lighting, but natural lighting is gonna get us nowhere today. So I wanted to just pop on and have a chat about this, hopefully talking through it. Maybe I'll come to some concrete conclusions about it being a no buy or a low buy. I feel like I really would like to do a no buy, but I'm afraid that I'm going to fail. So I feel like a low buy would make me feel more secure, or I wouldn't be failing if I mess up. But yeah, okay, so we're going to talk about that. If you're interested in trying to enjoy your planner hobby without spending so much money and just overall in life being more content with what you have and trying to curb that that dopamine shopping addiction, then please stay tuned. All right, so here we go. This I showed in a recent video, and this is my new brain, and this is to complement my planner, which I have not told myself that I have to use one planner for the year. There is such a thing as planner boredom, and I do have some things lined up to help with that. Different planners that I can hop to. I like to hop from bound to rings, and I have all of those things sorted out. Lots of files. I might use freebies if I need to, but I'm not going to tell myself that I have to stick in the same planner all year. But I am hoping to be more consistent about using just a regular notebook of some kind to be my brain dump, a place to get the stuff out of my head. And for now I have chosen a B6 Stalogy, and I've been using it for a couple of weeks now, and it's been working really well. This is what I am writing all of the notes in. So let me go ahead and find, okay, I'm going to go ahead and find the page that I've just kind of had as my home base for writing down these thoughts and ideas and my rules and stuff. So I think I'll go ahead and get started with, I never plan these things. I'm just off the cuff. It's real around here, guys. So the reason why I want to do this in the first place is that I do not have a very healthy relationship with shopping. When I'm stressed, I shop. When I'm bored, I'm shopping. I always see pretty things. I want it, I buy it. And it's too much consumerism. It's too much stuff. It doesn't matter if you have the money or not. That wasn't the issue. It's that I could do better things with my money. And the thing that I thought that I wanted so much, when I had it in hand, it was not what I was expecting. So you get that dopamine cycle of, you see something, it's pretty and shiny, you go to check out, and you're all excited and happy, and you can't imagine your life without this thing, or you can only imagine good things in your life because you have this thing, and then the thing comes and you're like, oh, it's just another thing. And it's just the cycle of the same thing, and I never got the message that oh, well, this isn't everything you thought it was going to be, or this isn't worth the time that you're spending to do this, the money that you're putting towards this. I have experiences that I'd rather spend my money on, and house updates or things like that, pretty much anything besides investing a bunch of money in this hobby. And it's not just this. I don't think that I have it written down here, but I have some stipulations for myself otherwise. My problem isn't just planning stuff. I have a problem with mugs and, you know, picking up dumb little trinkets from TJ Maxx and Marshalls and things like that. I mean, I feel like I can become shopping addicted with like any kind of like box. So I find Portland leather and I want all of the Portland leather, and then of course I'm only using like black or brown, so I have a lot of Portland leather that I need to part with because I'm just not using any of the colors. And I should know this about myself, but I see all the pretties and I want all the pretties, and it's, you know, it's a thing. I love getting seasonal mugs. Specifically Halloween and Christmas are really difficult for me when I'm out and about. I see a mug and I want to buy it, and it's just like little dumb things like that. And I like to see a collection of things. I'll collect chucks, I'll collect pens, I collect highlighters. And yeah, so it's not just a problem with the planner or, you know, my planning supplies. It's kind of, it's a lot of different buckets in my life right now. So I have some stipulations that I'm not allowed to buy any more bugs. I'm not allowed to buy any more nail polish. I'm not allowed to buy any of, you know, just, I have some rules. Like I should not be going into Marshalls. I should not be going into TJ Maxx. That's just my thing. I am not putting a stipulation on myself to not buy clothes because I'm currently in a weight loss journey and I'm doing really well. And I've needed to adjust my size on my clothes, on my bras, on my underwear. Like I'm gonna have to buy clothes throughout this year. So that's kind of off limits, but I've also learned to shop for my coloring and my style, and I'm going to be very picky about the kind of things that I buy. I'm also just trying to be like more minimal overall. We have a smaller house and a large family, and we don't have a lot of space for storage. And so like I'm not buying a whole new wardrobe every time I move a size down. I'm wearing my clothes until they're too baggy to wear anymore. And then I buy like 2 pairs of pants and a handful of shirts and a couple of new bras and a new package of underwear. Like that's how I've been doing it. And that's what I'm gonna do until I get to where I am. And then I'm gonna build a little capsule wardrobe and hopefully live calmly and peacefully. But as far as the planning supplies, that is where I feel like I have gotten like the most out of control. So this one's gonna have the most rules. So I just wanted to give that like backstory about why I'm doing this to begin with. And yeah, so here are like my rules. So the first rule is going to be that I'm going to be replacing instead of adding to. So for instance, how many Unijet streams do I have? Probably more than I can count. And I feel like I have a lot of that, like more washies than I need, more stickers than I need, more decor than I need, more covers that, you know, it goes on and on and on. So instead of seeing something pretty and going, oh, well, this is a nice washi tape, I'm gonna buy this washi tape. It's gonna be, I have this pen that I know that I use, and then I have the pen that I use in my Hobonichi weeks, and I have a couple of very specific markers that I use as highlighters. And so I'm not going to be buying new, but if the couple that I have of this completely wears out over the year, I will allow myself to buy one to replace it. And for the Uni jet streams, I have all the barrels that you could ever need. It doesn't matter if they come out with a new line, and I think that it's great. I will only buy refills for these. So I will replace instead of add to my collection. And I'm not going to do any new covers. I had been like, well, one in, one out, but I think that that's going to be a cop-out. So I am not going to buy any new covers. I'm not going to buy any new pens. I'm not going to buy any new planners. And the only caveat to this is going to be that I will buy 2025 planner inserts or Hobonichi or what have you. I'm hoping that I can stay more consistent in what planner that I'm using, since I'm not going to be like going off the rails with all the things. And so like at the Hobonichi launch, I will allow myself to make a purchase from there. But otherwise, like we're not buying any 2024 planners in 2024. Everything that I have purchased already, I'll allow myself to hop, in and out of, but no new purchases for planner for 2024. I also have more washi then I know, I mean, there's no way. I don't use washi enough that I'll run out of all my washi for the year. So no new washi, no new stickers. Again, I might run out of like my favorite from Coffee Monsters Co., but I can live without it. I'm not going to buy any more stickers. Those are like the basics for the things that I'm not going to allow myself to purchase. And I know that even though it's not written down, I'm going to be thinking of other things that would easily fall into these kinds of categories, that I'm not going to allow myself to purchase something just because it's not specifically listed here. If it's planner related and I haven't broken something or something hasn't completely worn down or worn out, it's a no on this list. So I'm not going to like cheat myself. There's a couple of things that I think that are going to be important going forward to make this a successful year. I've already started some painful unsubscribing from some emails, and that is really important to me, I think, because I know what happens when I see those emails come through and it's a limited, it's a, you know, almost sold out, or oh, there's a sale, and all of those things have given me an excuse to go to the checkout and buy something that I clearly don't need. So if I don't see it to begin with, I'll have less opportunity to be drawn in to make a purchase. I would like to be more creative with how I use things, because I know that I have all of the things that I need here, and I have so many things that it's like I don't see what I have, and I'm missing things, you know, things are going to waste. They're going unnoticed and unloved. They're like the toys. They're the toys at the bottom of the toy box. Like they're waiting for their turn. So I would like to use those things more in the coming year. I also want to make sure that I let my system work for me. I don't care what anybody else is doing. I'm going to find my natural groove, and it doesn't need any more purchases to make it successful or functional or anything else. I'll just be me, and that's the most important thing. I also have a note here: don't allow your planning hobby to take up so much of your time and your thinking. Like the amount of time that I have spent just thinking about what would make the perfect system, when I don't believe there is one. It is what you make it, right? Marriage, I've made this correlation before. Marriage isn't all sunshine and roses, but you are invested. And so you might find that you have a system that isn't perfection, but you can find ways to make it work. And it's obviously not as big of a deal as a marriage. I'm not trying to say that. Believe me, I believe marriage is very important, almost 27 years in now. But, you know, just because you find something that you don't like doesn't mean you abandon the system. And so I need to just dig in with the things that have worked the best for me and try to make them work as best I can. The other thing that goes, I think, along with unsubscribing from emails and stuff is that I need to spend less time scrolling, because it's the scrolling and the emails that get you like spinning with your mind. Like, oh, that's nice, that's pretty, that looks like a good system, I wonder if that would work for me, or oh, that looks great. Like how much time I have spent making up orders, and how many times I have in the middle of the night been bored or stressed or having a lot of anxiety, and I start scrolling social media and I see a planner system set up and I'm like, oh, that's nice. And then I go to the websites and I'm like, okay, this is why it's going to work for me at 3 o'clock in the morning. And I add everything to the cart. I go ahead and check out. I wake up in the morning and I'm like, what was I thinking? And it's too late. The stuff is already on its way. And it's just, I have to know what my triggers are. And trigger number one is my emails, especially the ones that say it's a limited time or it's a limited run. And the other one is the scrolling. And I'm going to have to give myself a timer, a limit per day or per week or what have you, so that I'm there less. This will lead to less shopping, because those are the things that cause me to shop the most, I think. Just the reminder that I already have everything that I need here. And then the next thing is, if I'm not spending the time thinking about my planner setup or purchasing things or scrolling, like then what am I going to do with that time that I have been taking up doing those things? And I already know what I want to be doing. So my focus is going to be studying the Bible, reading the Bible, quality time with my family game time. As my kids have gotten older, they're not really into that as much anymore, but we can make it happen more often than we do now. I would love to learn to crochet, and this one I have to be really careful about because I do know how to crochet like a tiny bit. I can't read patterns or anything like that, but I feel like it's something that is also a good, clean hobby to do, and it would be something to busy my hands and busy my mind, which I think will also help with my anxiety. But this is also another area where I know people sink a crap ton of money. So I am going to be very, very, very careful with this one. And if I see myself leading like down a path that I don't want to go, that is attached to a bunch of dollar signs, then I'm going to have to exit out of here. I want to spend more time in reflection. I want to spend more time organizing. When I was a stay-at-home mom and I didn't have to leave for work every day, like you have no idea how clean, how organized, how it was my thing. Like OCD, yes. And I'm not downplaying like actual OCD, which I do suffer with, but it's like that organization, that's all about me. I'd like to get back to taking care of those things that have fallen behind because of being busy with our lives, being a work away from home mom, and then my time not being as focused as it should be. My fitness, I am working out, I am lifting weights, and that is a more important focus for me right now. And then also in with like reading books. I do want to spend more time reading books, but I will not be purchasing books. I will be either getting them digitally from my library or getting them from my library. I'm not going to make that a way to spend money either. Don't shop with these either. Like any of this stuff, this is not about what I can spend. This is about how I can spend my time. And I was thinking about this earlier today, that I don't know that I have really thought about how painful this is going to be, how difficult it's going to be for someone who generally just says, oh, that I want that, and throw it in the cart. Because I take my YouTube money and the money from planner things that I have sold, and I then buy other stuff for this hobby with that money. And so I generally, if I want it, I buy it. And I don't know what it's like to live in a place where that's not my reality. Now, we have things like that in our life that we can't buy because we just don't have unlimited funds. But with planner items, unless you're talking about like really expensive covers, generally I've been able to just easily afford it with my little side hobby hustles. So I'm going to have to go back to a place where I have to learn to tell myself no. And I feel like that's going to be a little bit more painful than I'm expecting. I will say, and this is like full disclosure, I have made purchases leading up to this in the last 2 or 3 months when I first started thinking that this is the direction I should be going for the next year. I have made purchases just because I'm going to buy this just in case because my no buy is coming. And like, that's also the wrong headspace to be in, but that's what I've done. And I've been catching myself the last couple of weeks as we have come up on it getting closer and closer and closer. Don't do it. Just don't do it. Now, I will say that I haven't paid for it yet, but the shop that I purchased this cover for, I am ordering another cover for this because I know that I easily get bored with covers, and I want this to work for me. But she's a smaller shop. It's not as expensive as others, and she's having this great sale. And so I was like, I'm gonna ask her if she can make me another cover before I get started on my no spend. And that's what I'm doing. And that's probably the wrong thing to do too. But I'm like, that's gonna be the end. Like, I'm not buying anything else from here. I'm already like, it's done. Like, you're finished. And even though it's not 2024 yet, this is like the beginning of my no buy. And I think I just committed myself. Because I was like, do I give myself like a really small, like $20 limit over the months? But I think that that's going to be like a slippery slope, you know, because I could be, well, it's $20, that's your limit. And then, well, it's only $24.99, and then shipping, and then you're $30. And I feel like if I don't go ahead and just hit the brakes on it, then it's going to be too easy to do the wrong thing. So I think I've just committed to complete no buy. So we're going to just mark this one out, and we're going to do a no buy, no low buy, no buy. Okay, that's what we're going to do. So I am going to do something. This is important to me. So I'm going to make a dedicated spot in this notebook where I'm going to start listing all of the things that I'm struggling with, just so that I can look back and see, these are the things that you wanted to buy that you didn't buy. I remember that when I was growing up, my grandmother, well, it was my stepmother's mother, but she was very dear to me. She treated me like I was her own, unlike my stepmother, who was a horrible person. Anyway, she told me, and she did have money. Well, she had more money than we did, but anyway, it's relative, right? She did have the money for things, but she told me once when I was a kid that what she would do, she was an artist. So she would go to her artist catalogs, and she would, you know, back before the internet, she would write everything down on the order form that she wanted. And then she just didn't order it. And so I'm going to make a place in this notebook that is like that. I'm going to make a page of things that I wanted that I didn't buy. We're just going to go ahead and do this now. No time like the present, right? This is what I'm really liking about this notebook. Okay. Things I wanted but didn't buy. All right. That is that. And I'm going to come here and I'm going to write down what I wanted and how much it cost. And then hopefully at the end of the year, I'll come here and I'll be able to see how much money I did not spend, and hopefully be really proud of myself. Back to this. So my plan for sharing here on my YouTube channel, I will be sharing my successes and I will be sharing my failures. I really do hope that there's more success than failures, but if I have something that I mess up on, I'm going to come up here and I'm going to tell you about it. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to lie to myself. I feel like I have, like, as much as I'm worried about this, I felt the same way back in April when I woke up on a Saturday morning and watched a video and said, I'm not going to be someone who consumes sugar anymore. And I was terrified because I love coffee that tastes like a candy bar, and I love sweet tea, and I love desserts, and obviously it wasn't helping me. I wasn't an overeater at all, but my body was not handling sugar correctly, as far as like not my blood sugar wise, but like I was gaining weight, and perimenopause coupled with my body not liking what was going on and some steroids, and it made a perfect storm, and I gained too much weight, and I was just like, that's the end. And I woke up in the morning and I was like drinking my coffee, and then I was like, I'm not consuming sugar. And that's been 8.5 months ago. So if I can slay sugar demon, then I can handle this. There were times where it was less than nice, but I've made it like through, and I'm not like at risk anymore. So I feel like this is going to be a rough and bumpy road at the beginning, and there's probably going to be different seasons where it's going to be a little bit more difficult than others. Like I said, like as I go through and start unsubscribing from these places, I know that when I first see the email, it's gonna be like a, oh, but what's one more purchase? Or, you know, oh, I really like this, but nothing seems as perfect as this. I know there's gonna be problems within that. So I'll also be sharing any of the things that I find that are triggering me, patterns that I'm noticing in my own behavior, or patterns where I find that I'm getting these triggers. I'm also going to talk about if I have changes in my social media use because of this. So I feel like I said at the beginning of this, I just noted this in my notebook, that as I go through and declutter things, like I can see the areas that I have problems in, and I get hung up when I'm in my stationery stuff, not wanting to get rid of stuff or seeing how much I have. And so I know that I have to make that work. I know that I have to improve that area of my life. I did take some notes. I was just watching, I don't know, I feel like if your goal is to be a healthier person, it's good to listen to podcasts or watch videos that are about that, instead of watching a baking show that's going to make you crave that sugar. So, I watch a lot of things about eating keto and intermittent fasting, and now I'm starting to watch declutters and people who are living with low buys or no buys, or just people who are trending towards a more minimal life. And I'm not talking about no colors, no art, no, anything in your house, just stripped down bare furniture and bare walls. Not at all what I'm talking about. But for me, just having a more minimal house that requires less upkeep, because we just don't have time, but we also want, a calm, serene environment. So I've been watching some more minimal channels, and there was a quote on one of them, and I think that these both came from A to Zen Life, which she kind of goes farther than I'm comfortable with, but I think that she's lived this way for so long that I can get some little nuggets of wisdom from her. And so she had these two quotes on her channel the other day. Simplicity is about subtracting the obvious and adding the meaningful. And I think that this is what all of this means to me. When I say that I want to subtract these things and I want to add these things, that's what I want to do with my life. The other one is minimalism is the intentional promotion of the things we most value and the removal of everything that distracts us from it. Again, that's exactly what I'm going for. So this is my plan. This area is going to be tabbed for me, as well as the things that I wanted to buy but didn't. And I want to keep coming back here because this is what my intentions are. I have my whole weight loss goals and the reasons why I had those goals. And I sometimes, when I'm struggling, go back and look at those because they help propel me forward in difficult times. So this is going to be a spot that I come back to when I either want to give myself a high five or do a little gut check about what the heck is going on with you now. So yeah, that is what my plan is for 2024. I do think that I've had a lot of people who seem to be kind of echoing the same sentiments in my comment section. So I feel like there are several of you who are going that more planner minimal journey for 2024. And if that's you, I would really like to hear from you. Give me any kind of tips, ideas. Have you done one of these before and you've come out on the other side and you have some wisdom that you can share with everyone in the comments? I'd appreciate that. Or if this has been something that definitely wasn't planned by you, but this video has made you think maybe that's what I need to do with my life too, I'd also love to hear from you in the comments below, and I would like to cheer you on as well. I really hope that you like this video, and I hope that you are looking forward to this journey next year. I'm nervously excited about it, and I'm excited to talk about it more with you. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you're new around here and don't want to miss out on this journey with me, please consider subscribing. Thanks so much as always for watching, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye guys.